Every team, every topic, everywhere. This is Believe.
Welcome to the Jello Jiggling podcast. I am your host, Ryan Ward, and the Lakers have finally snapped their losing streak. So after losing 3 straight games, the Lakers were able to get back in the win column by beating the Portland Trailblazers at home at Crypto.com Arena on Sunday night. And it was a pretty convincing win. It wasn't pretty by any stretch, but it's a step in the right direction. Plus, they didn't have LeBron James. They won by 9, 107-98. Portland's awful. They're 3-10 on the road after this loss, but some promising signs here. I mean, they didn't have LeBron or Austin Reaves. Austin Reaves is still dealing with that lower back issue after that nasty fall a few games ago. But D'Angelo Russell stepped up and Rui stepped up, and AD kind of got back to form with 30 points, 11 boards, 5 blocks, which were all in the first half, the blocks, and 2 steals. Played pretty well. 9 for 9 from the free throw line, 10 for 21. I mean, back to regular AD production. I mean, this is kind of par for the course for him. Those numbers, I mean, the blocks is a little bit more than usual, but still, that's what AD does. But it was the story of the game was D'Lo off the bench and Rui filling in for LeBron. Rui started the game, played 39 minutes, more than anybody, kind of by far. Ironically, D'Lo was the next in line at 34 minutes, AD with 32. But he scored 23 points. He went 9 for 13. He went 3 for 5 from deep. Hit both of his free throws. 5 boards. You kind of want him to get a little bit more there, but not bad. And then 4 steals was the big thing for Rui. And he had 2 assists as well on a block. Not bad. He was plus 31. I mean, I think plus minus is kind of a BS stat, but at times, it's kind of glaring. Like it's here, plus 31 for Rui. D'Lo off the bench, plus 29. And D'Lo was just on his game. I mean, he's a super hot and cold player. So is Rui, but I'd say more so with D'Lo because the ball's in his hands more often. He had 28 points, 14 assists, 5 rebounds, only turned over the ball twice. Went 5 for 10 from deep, 9 for 17 from the floor. He was just locked in. He just looked good. Like he was flowing. The team was so much better with him on the floor, which is becoming kind of a trend lately with D'Lo. I mean, he had a rough stretch to start this season. I mean, to the point where people were just like, okay, we're done with this guy. Trade him as soon as you can. And he'll probably still get traded. I mean, this kind of uptick in his play is it's not, if anything, it's just going to, make his trade value just a little bit higher, right? But I think it's just a foregone conclusion he's going to get dealt. But so in the last 10 games, he's averaged 14.7 points. 9 games. He has averaged 5.4 assists and 3.1 rebounds, shooting 45.7% from the floor, 38.6% from deep, and 77.8 from the free throw line. Not too bad. I mean, it's all you can ask for. I mean, 26 minutes. He's embraced this backup role off the bench. That he should, because I mean, he can't be beggars can't be choosers. He didn't play well in the overtime loss to Atlanta, scoring 8 points, shooting 33% from the floor, but he definitely bounced back with a vengeance in this game. He had 17 against OKC, 20 against Minnesota, 12 against Miami, which obviously is not great either. But he was really locked in at this game. These type of games, these performances for me, or D'Lo, show you why the Lakers have been high on him at times and why they brought him back, because he can do this on occasion. We just wish it was more consistent. Wish it was every other game rather than every 3 to 5 games. You know what I mean? It's just he's just when he's cold, he is ice cold. When he's hot, he's red hot. It's just those are the ebbs and flows you deal with D'Lo. But it was impressive. I enjoyed watching him play last night. And that's been tough to say just for the Lakers in general. It wasn't a great game. It really wasn't. I mean, they could have lost. They could have. They let them climb back in as the Lakers tend to do in the second half. Like the third quarter, the Lakers just totally crapped the bed. Like, I mean, scored 18 points to Portland's 29, which was the best quarter for Portland the whole game. If it weren't for a 37-point third quarter or second quarter, I think the Lakers would have lost this game. And then they scored 30 in the fourth. That's, it's partly D'Lo continuing to be hot, but didn't get much from anybody else but those three. Dalton Knecht continues to struggle. He did get 8 rebounds, which was great to see, considering the Lakers' problems on that. He scored 6 points. He went 0 for 3 from deep, went 3 for 9 from the floor. I feel like he's just not getting those opportunities. Like a lot of his points are coming off of cuts to the basket or like kind of breakaways. Nothing's set for him, and the shots are just not falling lately. I mean, it happens when you're a shooter and you kind of lean on your shot a lot. This happens from time to time. The good thing is about Dalton is he's a pure scorer. I mean, he can do it anywhere on the floor on the offensive end. But he's a rookie. He's not going to get the first call or the second call or whatever. It's going to be AD, LeBron, Reaves, D'Lo, Rui, and then Knecht. You know what I mean? But if Knecht has it going, then they'll start to feed him. But if he doesn't, then it's kind of like this. Over his last 10 games, he's averaged 10.7 points, 41%, 41.2% from the floor, and kind of an ugly 30.5% from deep. Even free throw line, Jesus, that's worse than I thought. 55.6 from a shooter, that's awful, but he doesn't get to the line much. 5 rebounds flat, 1.2 assists. It's just not great numbers in 28 minutes. He's getting the minutes. He's just not really producing consistently. A lot. I mean, like he's barely. It's kind of unusual for him to break double digits at the moment. His last game, or like he did okay against Atlanta, scored 14 points, shot 54% from the floor, but the consistency that we saw earlier in the season is kind of dying off a little bit, which is unfortunate. But it won't last. This kid's too good. He'll turn it around. It's just a matter of time, in my opinion. And I'm high on him. Maybe I'm a little biased because I really want him to succeed. But from what I've seen with him, I just don't see this little bit of a slump continuing. He'll have a breakout game. He'll have, he might score 30 in the next couple of games, or who knows, maybe against Minnesota. They got some time off here, which is kind of a strange stretch. I believe it's because of the NBA Cup and that they've been eliminated. But the Lakers won't play a game now until Friday. So they got today, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday off, right? But they play on Friday in Minnesota, which will be another tough one. Minnesota crushed them last time by 29 after the Lakers beat them in the home opener or season opener / home opener weeks ago. But I mean, if any team ever needed time off right now, it is definitely the Lakers. They got injuries that they're piling up. LeBron sat out last game. I think it was with foot soreness or something. Reaves has the back issue, which it's only going to get better with rest, right? And no more traveling, right? They'll travel on Wednesday to get to Minnesota, but he'll have 3 straight days where he can just rest that back and get back to full strength, or at least close to it. So I would anticipate him returning on Friday, but you never know. You don't. Reaves is a tough guy. I'm sure if the medical staff gave him the thumbs up or gave him the option, he would play. I think he's got that old school kind of mentality. Like he's a tough kid. He's not going to sit if he doesn't have to. He's not like a lot of other players in the league today. Like I said, the old school approach. He'll play if he can. So 4 days off, incredible for this team right now, especially since they're 13-11. They're still above 500, right? They do have a tough stretch coming up, though. I mean that's kind of been what they've dealt with lately. There's been a lot of tough stretches, but this one's so they're going to go to Minnesota on Friday, right? They're going to come back to LA for a game against Memphis on Sunday, and Memphis is trending up. And then a weird stretch again because they don't play till Thursday of next week, which is December 19th. And then they have a strange back-to-back in Sacramento against the Kings. They play against Sacramento on Thursday, December 19th, and then Saturday, December 21st. So they're going to be kicking it in the California capital for a few days, which is weird. It's just strange. I don't remember last time I've seen something like that because usually those are literal back-to-back situations, and then they come home or they go somewhere else on the road. But not this for whatever reason. And then Monday they play Detroit, who beat them once already in LA, and then the big game on Christmas Day on the Wednesday, December 25th, against the Golden State Warriors in Golden State. And ironically, after that, they play Sacramento again. But they got a few stretches here with gaps, right? Gaps between games. Obviously, the Memphis to the Sacramento games, there's a gap. I mean, they got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and it's a short travel. That just a bus ride up or a quick, quick flight. And then I think the Saturday to the Monday, that's not a big deal. And then the Monday to Wednesday. But then the Wednesday to the Saturday, it's a couple days off there. You guys get to spend time with their family, hopefully. Then they play Cleveland, which will be see, if they can turn this around in this stretch leading up to, Christmas Day, that Cleveland game will be telling because Cleveland beat the crap out of them last time. And they're obviously one of the top tier teams in the league this year. So that will be a telling game. Then they got a few tough ones after that. I mean, they play Portland, which shouldn't be tough. Play Atlanta, who beat them, obviously, in overtime. Houston's good this year. So they'll be in Houston and then in Dallas. That's a tough 2-game stretch right there. And then it seems to ease up a little bit for a while, which could be good. Let's see. I wonder how many games we got until the trade deadline. That's would be the interesting thing. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. Wow, that's a lot. So they've got, including the game on Friday, 26 games until the buzzer sounds on the NBA trade deadline on February 6th, where they play against Golden State again in LA, which will be interesting because I think both of those teams will probably be the most aggressive teams in the West, I would assume, in terms of being buyers, right? To be a lot of sellers too, some of the low teams like Utah, which seems to be the one team that everybody's trying to pick from. Trying to think, I can't think of any others at the moment, but yeah, so it'll be, the East, probably a lot of teams in the East wheeling and dealing because there's so many terrible teams over there. It'll probably come to terms with the fact that they suck this year and they need to sell rather than buy. So that'll be interesting. I'm sure that the trade rumors will go insane for the next few weeks. Looks like Brandon Ingram is off the table if he was ever on the damn table, which I don't really believe, because whoever trades for that guy is going to have to pay him a ton of money, because I believe he's on an expiring deal. So the Pelicans are motivated to move him, but he just went down with a serious ankle injury. I believe that's how it was described, serious ankle injury, which those you do not bounce back from quickly. And the guy's he's injury prone, man. He's talented, as we've all seen as Lakers fans in LA. He can score. He's a pure scorer, but he's kind of a zero defensively, and he gets hurt damn near all the time, which is what he just did. And he's out for weeks. I mean, I'll look it up real quick to see what the I think it said out indefinitely, which is never good. Yep, out indefinitely with the left ankle injury. Man, poor Pelicans. I mean, I feel for teams like this that simply cannot get healthy. Getting seriously hurt, they said, which is kind of crazy because they don't say that unless it is true. Yeah, there's no timetable at all. So he could be still hurt through the trade deadline, which would make him incredibly hard to tough. I think there are rules where you can't trade a guy if he's not healthy, but I'm not. Don't quote me on that. Just sounds like something I remember hearing in the past. And who's going to want to bring in a guy you don't know what you're going to get for the rest of the season, and he could just walk in free agency if he doesn't like the situation? Yeah, it just doesn't make sense. So the Pelicans could essentially be screwed in that situation where they have to just play it out with him, and yeah, they're screwed. They're screwed. I don't think there's anything they can do unless they get a team that's willing to take him on. I don't know, but you never know, man. If I were Ingram, I would try as hard as I can to get back on the floor to get moved. Try to find a better situation. But that's and I never thought the Lakers were be serious about bringing him in. They don't have the money for one, and I really don't think he moves the needle that much. He's averaging 22 points a game. Good stats, but not like game changer stuff. Like he's not going to come in and all of a sudden the Lakers are going to be unstoppable. And that's kind of the move they need. They need it's a move that's a game changer. It has to be a game changer where they are just a totally different team and they are scaring opponents on a daily basis. And I don't know if that move is out there, to be honest with you. I mean, if I were to pick, I've said this 100 times, I'm going to stick to it. If I were to pick a move to make, I say Walker Kessler and Colin Sexton as a package. Send D'Lo if you can, and some picks. Get those two young guys in. They check two boxes: front court, back court, and they're young. They'll be around for a long time, and they're not going to demand a ton of money when that time comes. So it's good on all accounts, in my opinion. I mean, this whole Valanciunas thing and Brook Lopez and all these other bigs that they've been tied to, they're all over 30. They're all on a different stage in their career. It's a short-term fix, which would basically be just for this season. And if it doesn't work, then it's another failed move by Pelinka. So I don't know. I like Valanciunas. I think he would be great at next AD. I really do. Game changer? I don't know. They'll just be a tick better, right? I think maybe middle of the pack, West, maybe a little bit higher than that. I don't know, but and you got to see if it works. We got to see if there's that continuity with those guys. It seems like Valanciunas works no matter where he goes, so that's good, obviously. But I don't know where that's going. The Lakers probably are gathering their trade options at the moment, and probably anxious to pull the trigger. But I don't know how soon that'll happen. They could wait a month. I don't know. Maybe after Christmas Day. We'll see. There's just no telling. But I do think they're going to be aggressive. They're going to do something. It's just a matter of when and who, right? So see what else we got going on here. Tough stress for him. Schedule. And then, Minnesota will be an interesting game because they spanked them last time. Minnesota really put it on LA. So I would hope that they'll be really, ramped up for that one and ready to prove a point that the last game was kind of a fluke. But I don't know. I mean, I my confidence in this team and them kind of righting the ship and being a force to be reckoned with, it's not high at all. I don't know if you can hear Max in the background walking around. But you never know, man. Things change quickly in the NBA, and all you need is kind of a hot streak and get the confidence going within the team. And I think that the biggest problem right now is they're not really good on either side of the floor, right? Defense is awful. Last night was kind of the exception, but then you got to consider the competition. Like, you can get all crazy about a win over Portland, but then reality sets in. It's Portland. These guys have no incentive to win. They're not good. I mean, Jeremy Grant, who's a guy who's been linked to the Lakers forever, it seems, hit one shot. He hit 1 3. He was 1 for 12. And that's their star guy. And then what's his face? Scoot Henderson, who legit I forgot was on the damn team. Like, I have not paid attention to Portland ever since Dame left, or ever since that trade happened. And I thought Scoot was going to be that guy. He's coming off the bench. He's not. If you're coming off the bench on a rebuilding team like this that's won 8 games, something's off, dude. I mean, they got decent guys. Ayton's not terrible. He had 19 rebounds. Jesus. Didn't realize that until I looked at the box score right now. Anthony Simons is a good player, I think. They're all complimentary guys, though. There's no, standout star, which is a problem, right? And I kind of feel for Chauncey Billups, but hey, that's the path he chose to go. But I will say D'Lo trending up is a good thing. Rui trending up is a great thing. It's hopefully LeBron's foot thing is not lingering. I think it was probably more of a rest thing because it was weird. I think earlier in the day, the Lakers sent out notifications to us saying he was upgraded to probable, I believe. And then, literally an hour before the game, I remember I was tweeting out my my underdog fantasy picks, which I've been doing every game, and I tweeted out, and LeBron was one of them. I think it was higher 3-pointers, 1.5, something like that. And seconds later, it's literally seconds later, the Lakers sent out that notification saying he was downgraded to doubtful. It's just weird. I can't remember a swing like that in a matter of, I think it was 7 hours difference in a long time, if ever. It was just strange. But maybe that, JJ came to him and said, hey, look, dude, just rest. It's Portland. We can beat these guys with who we have, even without you and Reaves. So just take it easy. Get ready for Friday. You're going to have a ton of time off, which makes sense. Makes total sense. I mean, I hate resting players and this whole load management crap era because I grew up in a different era, man. I grew up when, it was a badge of honor to play 82 games and, put it all out there all the time. I mean, Kobe's my guy, and that was Kobe's mantra, right? Jordan too. But it is what it is, man. And LeBron's going to be 40. When is his birthday? It's right around the corner, literally. Weeks away, maybe even less than that. Where is he at? Oh, no, December 30th. So it's a few weeks away. But, yeah, he's 40 this month. So I get it. Year 22, yet rest his ass. Because he hasn't looked like LeBron. He did against Atlanta, but they still lost. So, and, it was an overtime game and whatever. So, but this was kind of a blah update. It was just like, hey, like they got to win in a game where they were supposed to win. Congratulations. And now they have 4 days off, which is weird in the middle of the season, especially if it's not the All-Star break. So hopefully we see a healthy, motivated squad on Friday, and they don't, lay an egg against one of the better defensive teams in the league. Minnesota's not great this year. They're obviously formidable if they can beat the Lakers by 29. But until that time, I will see you then.
If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening.